So we're going to start the timer now.
Alright everyone, we are here and ready to go with Luigi's Mansion. I hope you guys are ready for an awesome run being done by splazergames. Take it away, Couch. Take it away, Runner.
Alright, splazergames here, and I'm just going to do some Luigi's Mansion 100%. Should be a fun one. Basically, the 100% requires all booze, all portraits, 100 million G money, so, and that should be it. Okay, let's...
Alright everyone, we are here and ready to go with Luigi's Mansion. I hope you guys are ready for an awesome run being done by splazergames. Take it away, Couch. Take it away, Runner.
Alright, hey everyone. splazergames here, and I'm just going to do some Luigi's Mansion 100%. Should be a fun one. Basically, the 100% requires all booze, all portraits, 100 million G money. So, and that should be it. Okay, let's get into the countdown. I do have my commentators too, but sorry, underscore 100 in red. Alright, let's get into the countdown.
So I'll introduce myself, I guess. I'm Red. I'm commentating this run.
Same here. I'm sorry, commentating with this guy.
Yeah? Alright, let's start a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright.
Okay.
So you're gonna see he's on the Japanese version. The Japanese version saves around 20 to 25 seconds depending on luck, because the text you get is actually luck based later in the game.
It's a little bit more in this category actually because of
Oh yeah, in 100% it's even more.
some extra different elements to it.
Yeah, it's like 40 and 100. There's a lot.
Timer didn't start.
It's whatever. So he's also playing on the Hand Mansion, because on the Hand Mansion your back is double damage on the Japanese version. Actually, that's double damage on all three versions, but specifically on the Japanese version, you do not take double damage like you do on the other two, and the European version is completely different from that. This is like a
Looping back on your speakers.
Is it going through, is it like echoing?
Yeah, it's echoing.
Might have to just mute Discord, then I might not hear my commentators. But I'm not gonna do it anyway, honestly.
Yeah.
If that's fine with you.
Okay. That's fine with me if it's fine with you.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute and resume. 3, 2, 1, go.
So
And also, there's a lot of spots that where money just doesn't spawn. So you'll see that it might actually be
You get really good money this time.
Torture Ghost that can't be one cycle. Which is kind of interesting. He's the first boss ghost in the game. So we'll have to 2-cycle him. And there's a decent amount of things we can do to speed the fight, actually. It's not just... It's a pretty complicated fight, actually. And you'll see that right here.
Sorry, I said this fight isn't that complicated, but there are certain things that you're gonna be doing. So you'll see that he has his attack patterns memorized. So you just walk to the right, walk to the left, and then you can attack him. So the way he does this is, so Chauncey throws like these different kind of balls at you, and what Splazer does is he catches them out of the air and shoots it directly at Chauncey. So then save a bit of time.
Yeah.
And then he's going to do the same thing here, but he's going to do a slightly different setup for the second.
Yeah. You take damage here because if you don't, then the second ball catch is actually slower unless you go for a very, very inconsistent strat where the first ball catch you do in a weird way that makes the second ball catch behave differently. And if you do that, you can actually save a little bit of time, but nobody really does that because it's pretty much not really viable. And wow, a 413 Chauncey key, that's pretty good, Splazer. But yeah, now that's Area 1. Area 1 to most people feels like the intro of the game. I think most of you guys, well, Splazer can't hear me, but I think you'd agree that this feels like a little bit of an intro sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. But it definitely teaches you a lot about the game, or if you were to do a first playthrough, so it's like more of an intro than an actual area. But Area 2 is where it starts to get interesting, where a bunch of different stuff becomes a thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Area 1's pretty basic, although it's still a pretty hard area because there's actually basically no luck in it. So most of your time left in Area 1 comes from minor mistakes and such.
The only luck that is in it literally doesn't matter, pretty much.
Yeah, only loses like 3 like that, in worst case. Alright, now we're coming up to Area 2. This is where the game really starts to pick up, and the game really starts to deviate from the categories like no out of bounds, where you don't really collect money. You just kind of play through the game. So you see only no out of bounds at this point, then you're gonna start seeing some crazy stuff. Although this first room right here is actually no different because there's no money in this room or anything up leading to it that is fast. You're gonna walk straight there and get the ghost in here. There's double you can do. You'll notice he's actually going the Game Boy and he's skipping scared by the ghost. He doesn't save time in too many spots, but it makes it a little bit, it's really just runner preference where you do it most of the time. But there it actually does save a tiny bit of time because you can grab faster. You can do the double without getting grabs and you're just faster, but it's a lot harder and the very, very small time save you get isn't worth it for most people, so Blaze doesn't really do it. Now we're coming up on the ballroom. This is one of the hardest rooms in the game in most people's opinion because you have to have, right here there's these Shy Guys and plays just double, which is a little bit slower, but most people, it's the most common strategy. You basically get 3 doubles and they can be kind of weird sometimes, like this, like that sucker right there. But he made the cycle because if you get those guys before they attack, you can make a cycle. And that's the fastest cycle you can make, so he made it, which is pretty good. And then you get the money in here, and this is where the money is in this room. And now these are the Woundas. There's I don't know the odds, I don't think, there's still a little bit of research needs to be done, but these guys have a random chance of showing their heart 10 seconds early, or not. So you could just lose 10 seconds to RNG, he got it, so he's actually saving the time there. And then he's also going to be getting their pearls, because each large pearl is worth 1 million, each medium pearl is worth 100,000, and each small pearl is worth 50,000, so you obviously want to get them if you can.
Yeah, and then coming up here, another pretty... This trick is actually pretty easy, but sometimes it can be weird, is where you get the poster early there, and it saves time from having to do it later, and you can do it while you're waiting for the ghost to spawn anyway, so you kind of overlap the two, and it saves a little bit of time. And now he's going to release the boost.
The most annoying part of the run.
But yeah. Boos are... I'd say they're a good balance of skill and luck. Where they positioned are luck, but how you deal with their positioning is not luck. So, boos are definitely a pretty big skill aspect of the game, but they're also a pretty big luck aspect. I promise you, when you're first running the game, you're going to lose a lot more time to skill than the luck with these boos. So yeah, they're pretty deceptive like that sometimes. And you're going to notice that for each boo, he's going to be doing a strat called R pumping, where he lets go of R and represses it while holding the L button, and it basically, the way the boos work is if you do damage to them for 10 health, they'll be frozen in place and then they'll start moving. But if you stop and then start dealing damage again, then that 10 health stun lock will actually be reapplied. So you can basically keep doing it and stun lock them. But there is a limit. The boos have 15 cackles, and each cackle is basically the damage lock that you use to stun lock them. So once you do it 15 times, it no longer works, and they will leave the room regardless of if you keep doing it or not. So for most boos, it's not really a problem because they have less than 150 health. But for some boos that have 150 health or more, it can make them pretty difficult to deal with.
Yeah. So it looks like... So they're, if you, like, pull off something like a claw, like, after you suck up a boo, it'll actually skip the text that EGAD gives you after you suck up a boo. In that room, it's entirely luck-based, because if the boo's in the cloth, you can't actually get the text skip.
Yeah, the boo's in the cloth, for some reason, you can't just hump the object, you actually have to pull off the cloth for the search, and that's like an 8-second time loss right there. You can't really do anything about it. But yeah, for this boo actually is a good example showing of something. Every time you R pump, because you have to stop dealing damage to the boo, it actually loses a tiny bit of time. So because the boo does not have any way of leaving the room if you don't R pump, it's actually a little bit faster to not R pump him. And as you saw there, it saves a tiny bit of time. So he's gonna be trying to R pump boos as well as possible if he can afford to. But later on in the game, you kind of just gotta use all your R pumps and not really waste any. Yeah, this boot order, it's a tiny bit faster to do this boot first because you get more boot movement, or more boot movement, because of how the routing works, with the second boot specifically. And if you notice, you might drag boos a little bit by R-pumping them and then moving in the direction opposite of where they're trying to go. If you do that with pretty precise timing, you will be able to move the boos pretty much anywhere you want to. And it's very useful for some boos specifically. Ooh, that's a really, really rough mistake. That was the example of him getting a little bit greedy with R-pumping and trying to do it as well as possible.
So,
now he's gonna have to go get Neville Boo.
Basically, why the boos are so annoying is that they can go basically virtually any room in the mansion if it's on the same floor.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
This is more of a problem later in the run, but as you can see there, that lost him a good like 40 seconds.
I would say that's a lot more than 40. I think if he, especially with this, yeah, that's brutal. Because now he has to go back to get that boo later on.
That too.
So he probably lost a good minute to that, and that's, I guess, a good showing that sometimes boos can go in directions that are really, really not fun. But now he's back on track. I guess he's gonna get these boos now, which is an interesting route deviation. But yeah, so he's getting these boos now. Normally you get these boos when you go get the twins later on, which I guess we'll see in about a little less than, around 20 minutes, give or take. But yeah, now he's gonna have to back this up, which is unfortunate, but you know, it happens sometimes. You want to save as many frames as possible by not R-pumping, and you get a little greedy, and that happens.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. So, Yeah, his boo routing's gonna be kind of messed up for the rest of the run because of this, but that's perfectly alright for the most part.
Yeah, like he can back this up pretty easily, but it's just an unfortunate time loss that he didn't really have to incur.
So basically, now we're gonna go into this room, and you're gonna get the key out of the toilet, and then mirror board. So if you scan a mirror, it happened earlier, you just go back to the foyer of the mansion.
Yeah, it's basically like quick transport to warp back to the foyer. And obviously, when you have to walk from, say, in the blackout segment, walk from the balcony all the way down to the foyer, back up to the wardrobe room, it's a lot faster to quick warp from the mirror than to walk all the way back down. So that'll be useful in a decent amount of instances.
Yeah, and in this room actually is the first, I guess, major skip in the game, which is called Fireboard. So when he finishes this room here, you're gonna see he's gonna go straight to the very right of the room and spawn the boo. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna I'll explain it more when the room's actually cleared. So you'll see that instead of getting a key from this chest, you're actually gonna get a red-orange chest, and in this room, what he's gonna do, he's gonna look for the boo, and that's unfortunate RNG. He's gonna open the chest, and the medallion that comes out of it, he's gonna pick that up right after he sucks up the boo. And what that's gonna do is he's gonna be able to save and then immediately quit out of the game and skip all the text that you guy would give you for the medallion, and also skip the puzzle in that room entirely.
Yeah, and you get to reset the butler cycle because the entire time you're on that segment, the butler's moving around, and generally he's going to be in a spot that you don't want to be in, so
yeah,
that's also nice little perk of it. And now, while he's getting this key, he's on a cycle, so if he makes a mistake, then the cycle will obviously be slower. But if he doesn't make any mistakes, the cycle will be around what he expects, but he has to get the boo, so I guess he chose now to get it. Interesting decision. So yeah, this is the boo that he lost earlier. I guess he wanted this to get back on track with boos as fast as possible. I respect it.
I should mention this. The boo spawns back in there because he saved and quit. So when you leave the mansion at all, after you save or something, the boo, if you had a boo leave into another room, it will respawn in the room it originally spawned in.
Yeah, I guess one small thing to mention is that if you play on the 3DS version of the game, it's actually the opposite. The boo will respawn with the same health he has instead of full health. But that's a different game, I guess.
Yeah.
A little fun fact for you 3DS players out there: your game is not the same as ours. Yeah, now he's going to set up a text tip here on that mouse hole, only on the Japanese version. This will only work on the Japanese version. You can actually drag the boo into that mouse hole, and then you'll skip the text from it. It saves a few seconds, but it's done twice because it also happens with a hidden room boo.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's a little cool thing you can do.
Another thing that's important is that there's a little thing called pearl duping now. And I'm not sure if Splazer's going to get any of them because it is a frame-perfect trick, but you'll see that when you suck up a ghost, or a portrait ghost specifically, you'll see that they'll drop pearls. And if you do a trick called vacuum canceling, which is pulling out element a little before you pull out your actual vacuum, one frame before you regularly pick up the pearl, you'll actually pick it up twice, and that gives you double the money.
Yeah, sadly, the duplicate glitch can only be done on pearls and gold bars, and hearts and, I guess, poison mushrooms, but those don't really matter. They can't be done on gems because, I guess, their cutscene messes with it somehow. If you could dupe gems, then the entire run would be all booze, but you dupe some gems, and then it'd be less more. It'd be honestly a lot more boring in my opinion.
And I don't think you can do. You can't do it on coins and bills either. Actually.
Nah, because they don't. The way it works is that
they don't have proper auto lock.
Yeah, the way it works is that dupe happens because you collect the item with Luigi and the vacuum at the same time, and you cannot use the vacuum to collect coins and bills. They can only be done by touching Luigi, so that's why it doesn't work, sadly. Or else, I mean, it wouldn't really matter much in this category, but it'd be a cool concept, I guess. Yeah, like Red said, it's incredibly hard. Very, very few runners even do a route that goes for dupes every time. Most runners just go for them, and if they get them, then they skip out on money later. But usually they don't rely on them. Like almost, it's really only the top few that rely on dupes to complete the runs.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is Melody. She has a 1 in 2 chance of playing 2 different songs. Super Mario Bros. 3 Athletic or Super Mario Bros. 1 Underwater. Underwater theme is 1 less text box and it's the top option, so you can just mash. As you saw there, SMP3 is an extra text box and you scroll up, so it's not as nice if you get it. But it's 50-50, so it's not too upsetting.
Let's see if he gets this dupe. Did not get it, sadly.
I don't know how much Blazer practices dupes, but his route did not go for him, I don't think, so I don't think he practiced them too much. I don't think he's worried about that right now. He's probably focused on just making sure he has the money, getting extra money, and not losing any more booze this run. So this is the lugs. Same with the butler. The lug cycle will continue to move even if you're not interacting with him. You can actually go 1 room away from him, and he will still be doing his attack cycle, and you can let that go by while you're doing stuff in the kitchen, and it saves a little bit of time versus waiting in the dining room for him to finish.
So one difference between the butler and the lug cycle is that butler is always active no matter how far away you go from him. But with yeah, but with lugs, if his room deloads, his cycle also deloads.
Yeah, so. But in this case, it wouldn't really make a difference because you don't really have any intention of going 2 rooms away from lugs. There's not much you can do 2 rooms away. So you kind of just do everything in the kitchen and then you get lugs afterwards. The lug, one thing I should mention with duping is it is said that with water, the dupe window is more lenient, and that basically would mean that dupes are easier with water. So lug dupe should be easier, but of course it's still very, very hard. He missed there. Same with Spooky, Biff Atlas, Dupi, and I guess for some people, Clockwork Soldiers. But not really many people. And now he's getting the Boo, and he's heading up to Spooky. Hopefully he gets the dupe. That'd be really, really cool if he could have a dupe in there, Area 3. Having any amount of dupes in Area 3 would be pretty impressive. Because that means you only have 3 or 4 instances of trying it.
Yeah, in later areas, you have so many instances that, like, it's common to get, like, 1 dupe, maybe, but, like, that's only because you have so many attempts to try it.
I mean, that's also not including any of the other pearl sizes. You can dupe every pearl if you wanted to.
So...
That's rough, yeah. Like I said, it is pretty much a very, very, very small window, and you do like 3 inputs, so it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Now, Bogmire, you can actually one-cycle this guy. It's kind of hard. It's especially hard in Null Mansion, but it's not.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a good chance he gets it, but there's also a good chance he messes it up.
Yeah. The Bogmire 1 cycle is like one of those things where it's like, it's pretty easy, but if you mess up, like, it's not gonna work. So...
It's like room for error can be, although I guess I should mention, Bogmire spawn is RNG, but because you only have like 2 frames to do any inputs, if you just hold nothing, you'll always manipulate the RNG to be the same every time. Yeah. And then during the suck up, where he moves can be kind of random, and if he moves towards the middle of the arena, you can have the suck up be way harder and a lot less likely to one cycle. But let's see if he gets this. Like I said, it's usually at a high level. It's not something you miss, but there's always the occasional you kind of just zone out and then you miss it. Let's see how this goes. Okay, he got it.
Nice. It's actually, this is actually not bad at all. Oh wait, no, the timer's behind.
I would say, yeah, it's not that bad, but if he didn't miss the Neville boo, or the boo in the storage room, this would definitely be a pretty okay run, I think.
Yeah. No, it's just text mashing and cutscenes for like a minute, so.
Yeah.
In this area, especially if you've only seen No to Bounds runs, you'll see a lot of differences in this area. There's a couple of differences in area 2, but this area especially, there's going to be a lot of differences.
So extra rooms you don't normally clear, stuff you don't normally bother with. So yeah, you also notice him watering the plant. In this game, there's a plant that if you water 3 times, you get 20 million plus a couple of extra points that build bars and stuff. So you kind of need that. If you don't get it, I mean, if you can dupe a lot of pros, you could probably skip it, but nobody's really at that level yet, so it'd be really hard to not do that. So for now, it's kind of like a requirement. It loses a decent amount of time, so you have to go out of your way 2 additional times to get it. You're going to see him getting that at the end of Area 3, actually, because of how the element routing works. At the beginning of Area 3, here is going to be... I'd say in Hundo, Ice Split is a pretty hard split because of the rec room, which you're going to be seeing after the courtyard. And Biff Atlas is a mean ghost. Let's hope he handles him well. And you're going to see here that he's going to be going down the well, and we're going to be getting a pretty significant lore knowledge. I don't know how to describe that, but we get to learn some a little bit about the lore of this game in this cutscene right here. And he's gonna get the gem because he wants to play it safe. Not many people get that gem in their route unless they're behind on money, or they're just playing it safe like he is. But yeah, in this cutscene here we learn about we get to see our best brother, Mario.
Just Brad himself.
I can't believe Chris Pratt was captured by Jack Black. My favorite part of the lore. Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Alright, now he's gonna be doing a pretty minor time save that I still want to point out. I think he goes for it here. Where he's actually going to vacuum this birdhouse. I don't know why I let it in a birdhouse, but it is. And that's a tiny bit faster than knocking it, but it's nothing too special. Now this room right here is probably one of the hardest rooms. Probably the hardest room about this sport, honestly. You think it's this guy, which is another bit of backup money that people normally get because it's slow, but it does give you 1 million. Because the rubies are 1 million, and 1 million is quite a lot. That's one large pearl dupe. So yeah, he's gonna be getting Biff Atlas. He not only does he need the boo, but he also needs the portrait, and he wants the money.
I should also mention that duping is faster because that doesn't give you an animation. While if you pick up a gem, Luigi like holds it up to the camera.
Yeah, that's worth mentioning. Ooh,
oh, he broke off.
That was really unlucky. That was not that bad of a suck up for how early he broke off. But this guy has pretty brutal pulls sometimes. So.
Yeah, so that's actually a huge problem because now he's not going to get the big pearl.
Yeah, like not only is he losing a decent amount of time, but he's also losing the pearl. He actually lost some mediums too. So that's pretty. Yeah, that's not very cool. But you know what? It happens. That goes specifically can be really annoying realistically.
Yeah.
But luckily, the boo is nice to him. So he is losing this boo can be kind of annoying because he has 100 health. So it's not too hard to lose him. the room is pretty weirdly designed for this boo because there's these punching bags and the dumbbell in the way and those mats.
Yeah.
And he's gonna use the water there to put out the door from below. It's a little time save, so he doesn't have to wait for the door to be put out. And he's gonna get this gem, probably because he lost it. Ghost. Normally you set up a tech skip here, but because you got the gem, a tech skip wouldn't really be worrying about. So instead he's gonna get the ghost like normal. Then the last element, ice, is the only element that actually matters on boos. When you freeze a boo with ice, you actually they actually will stay in place, similar to how our pumping works. But it's useful because you can actually freeze them for a little bit longer, and you can just freeze them and then go do other stuff while they're frozen in place, and then come back to deal and damage them later, which you'll probably see on 1 or 2 boos in this route.
Yeah, it's actually going to come up on the room coming up here after this one. So this is going to happen a lot earlier than it normally does, but now that he has 16 boos, he has a chance to... There's a 1 in 5 chance that he loses 5 seconds to text, because EGAD gives him random text every time now.
Yeah, EGAD likes to spam you really hard sometimes.
So he's actually doing the wrong portrait ghost. Normally you would do, okay, well he realized that was probably not worth it, but,
yeah. One thing I should mention... Oh, what were you saying?
I let you go ahead.
Okay, well, in this game, portrait ghost pearls are actually linked to each other. The fact that if you use, for example, if you missed out on all the pearls on Nana, and almost none of the pearls would also spawn on Petunia. But if you get all the pearls on Nana, then also all the pearls will spawn on Petunia. So normally you do Nana first because Petunia's pearls, there's a bathtub in that room. And if the pearls get stuck behind there, like 1 small pearl or 1 medium pearl could get stuck behind the bathtub, and you'd have to get it. And you normally wouldn't want to get it. So it basically, once you get the pearls, you wouldn't want to get it normally.
It's not really that bad, but it's only medium and it's only the mediums in the big pearl that cause pearls to despawn in the next portrait ghost. So if you skip every single small, it won't matter.
So yeah, it doesn't matter too much if you miss out on a couple mediums or smalls, but if you miss out on even 1 large like you saw in this Atlas, it's pretty catastrophic to your run. Like, you don't want to do that, or else you're in a rough spot. But because players are getting a lot of safety money, he should be fine.
Yeah, he got all the pearls from the bathtub anyway, so definitely wasn't worth it to walk out and go to Nana first, but he wanted to do it, so. They normally know to bounds you would do Petunia first, for the exact reason why you would do Nana first in this, so.
Nana pearls are neat. Now we're gonna on to Astral Hall. This room is 2 doubles and a triple. Not much to say, honestly. Aside from those candles are really annoying.
Yeah, those candles can be really hard to do sometimes. Especially the one in the top right. For some reason.
I mean, I think a lot of different runners have different problems. Like, I've had problems with the bottom left candles. I think, Red, you said you had problems with the top right, you said?
Yeah, that candle messes me up every time.
I think people have issues with, like, bottom left. There's, like, a bunch of like, random candles. It's so weird.
Ooh, actually getting grabbed by the grabber here.
Yeah, that's rough.
Please.
He's gonna be
going for like a...
Here.
This is very sketchy. And it worked. So he's gonna be using the boo radar and read the boo. There we go.
Yeah. This boo, despite having 50 health, if you lose him for 1 second like that, he'll just leave. And this boo can go left here, and that will lose him a lot of time. But he didn't.
No, we went right.
Yeah.
So if he went left, it would have lost him... Actually, he probably could have just saved warded grabbing him here, so it wouldn't have lost him that much time, but...
It would be enough that it wouldn't be something you want to do on a good run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is the moonshot. This is really, really hard, especially if you don't know the left setup. Even with a setup, sometimes you can just miss it. But if you look at Luigi's biceps, and then you look at the left edge of the vacuum, it actually forms a V shape, and that's how you know that you have the good alignment or not. That's the one, at least the alignment that most people use.
Actually missing it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
can see him getting really annoyed by it in the face cam.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose,
Missing it again.
especially after those blue losses, I can definitely understand why he'd be frustrated about this run. Some unfortunate series of events here. It's fine, like I said, it happens to everybody. I think, one of the best paces ever recorded in 100% actually missed moonshot. So, it's obviously happens to everybody. Loses about 8 seconds-ish, depending on how fast you get to backup. Now he's going to be going to the billiards and projection room. Because there's booze and Portuguese and money there. And he needs Mario items, so he basically needs everything there.
Mario! Mario!
And yeah, this is actually a decent amount of walking, especially in Area 4. Right here is a decently long segment, although there's definitely longer in this area. So, coming up here is the bang shot. This guy can be pretty annoying to one cycle because not only does he have RNG elements with where the billiards balls go, but it's also just kind of annoying because even when they go right, you can sometimes get hit by them, they can disappear, or you can accidentally hit them too fast and then they also disappear. So there's just a bunch of really, really, really annoying things that can happen.
Ooh, really, really scary there, but he did get it.
Dang it. Now he just has to not drop the suck up. This guy's pull is kind of weak, but his effective degree of radius is, or effective radius, I can't think of what the right word is, but basically the radius of which you can pull him away and still have it work is pretty slow, or pretty low, so you have to be pretty precise on where you pull away from him, the angle of effectiveness, I guess. But players are having good blue luck there, making it look pretty easy. Having a pretty, honestly, that was a pretty decent billiards room, I say. Coming up in my projection room, I don't know if, I didn't mention this earlier, but in the mirror room, the ghosts are normally invisible, but in this game, every ghost spawns in the exact same spot in every room, unless you despawn them, in which case they become random, but you don't do that in any ghost in the speedrun intentionally. So usually they always spawn in the same spot, and you just know where they are, and you can get them fast. And there, he scare skips to get grabbed faster and set up double a little bit quicker. Here's an example of a scare skip that is entirely optional, but can really save time. And nice triple. You see the blue there? Alright.
Getting a switch into the top right though.
That's a decent switch. It's probably top left, but it might be the projector as well.
So this is going to be the second save warp of the run here.
I think in this run, because he missed Neville Boo, it might have actually been better to not save and quit. But I'm not sure. He's not going to go back to the Neville's room again.
Yeah, that's true. He might forget though.
Let's see. Is he going to go back to Neville's room or not? I think he's going to remember though. That's my guess.
It'd be kind of funny if he went to Neville's room. Nah, he remembered.
Actually, you only have to do it only a few times, so it might have actually been... I'm not sure. That was really... It was a good showcase for the save warp, though. In most situations, saving quitting there is faster, but because he... Normally, you get fire in Neville's room and have a bunch of elements to do vacuum cancels and stuff. But because this run he didn't have that, it's kind of questionable if that was faster or not, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to use vacuum on these twin boxes to see if there's a twin in them or not. There's the first one. And there's a second one. That was not worst RNG, but it wasn't good either.
Yeah, just gonna grab this ghost. I don't even think I mentioned Speedy Spirits. They're the blue gold ghosts, just a retexture, and they give a lot of money most of the time.
Yeah, some of them give a lot of money, some of them don't give that much money.
I think this is the one of them where, oh, that's actually unfortunate. I think this is one of them where it doesn't give you a lot of money, but it literally loses 0 time to get, so there's no point not to get it.
unfortunate there. Luckily, that was not the red one. If that was the red one, he would have missed out on the large pearl, which obviously, as we said earlier, is pretty significant loss to the run.
Alright, so Cheese Reaver is going to be taking over hosting duties for a little bit so that I can get some rest because I've been sitting in this chair for 12 hours.
Alright, later, man.
I will only speak when necessary, worry not.
Alright, so now he has the last Mario item, which is going to deliver them all to Clairvoyant at once. So that's a minute and a half of tech smashing. Close to like a minute 15, minute 20, but it's still a lot.
Pretty painful.
And it's not fun when you get
Probably wasn't faster to walk Lydia's room in the mirror ward, but...
it doesn't matter, he's just doing the route. So now, yeah, so Clairvoyant, it's about a little, it's like a minute 20, minute 15 of just tech smashing with no breaks. So, you know, this is like not fun because another annoying thing I guess about this game is that your tech smashing directly correlates to how fast you go through text. Other games, the text boxes scroll by a little bit. In this game, it's all at once. So if you have fast mashing, you'll have fast text boxes. If you have slow mashing, you'll have slow text boxes. That simple. There's other games where you can like, there's like text box has a display before you can mash. In this game, you just mash. And doing a minute and a half of it straight without any breaks is not very fun. And it's even more on the English PAL version, I think. So yeah, not fun, but you know what? It's only this one time they do it for this long. Throughout the run, it's in short bursts usually. I guess to mention that Clairvoyant is unique in the fact that her pull is pretty much non-existent, so you can actually do the normal ghost strat and it won't actually do the increased damage. So you get the optimal strat is to pull away on the, or at least the strat that most people do is to pull away on the control stick and spin the C-stick. So you're gonna be probably seeing him doing that on his controller, and sometimes you can do it pretty aggressively. Like this.
She is kind of hard to suck up because of this, or hard to suck up optimal.
Yeah, there's a strat where you like do really weird control stick and C-stick inputs, and it does it the same speed as all the other ghosts, but it's like the hardest thing ever, and it barely saves time, so nobody does it RTA. Yeah, now he's gonna go ward the plant again, because he needs to get the gem. And he doesn't now because you need ice for the safari room, and there's actually ice in the kitchen. So you can actually get the ice from the kitchen without having to take the extra stop in the safari room. You get some food now as well because getting it earlier would be kind of awkward. Yeah, he has to go all this way just to water the plant one time. This just goes to show how much time you lose to have to water the plant. Because you do this like one more time.
Yeah, it's about a minute each time.
Not very fun.
It would be a solid 2-minute time save if you could skip it. I mean, you can skip it, but like, it's way too hard for anyone to go for right now.
Now we're coming up on Gulasis. There's still a safari room, which actually I guess showcases a good example of a strat where if you are using an element on a ghost as it's spawning, you'll actually get rid of its elemental barrier shield thing before it is fully spawned, and because of that, you don't have to wait for it to play an animation. You can just immediately stun it, and it's a little bit faster than having to wait. So there's a good example of it. It was also done in the kitchen and the hidden room. But those are from objects, so it's a little bit harder to see. He goes for a double there, and if you hold up the vacuum there like that, you'll actually prevent this guy on the right from spawning. Which normally, if you don't, you'll have to wait for him to respawn, and because I said respawn is RNG, you can actually lose time there. That's why he holds the vacuum there. Another thing I should mention is if you walk with the vacuum out, you'll actually move a little bit slower. So if you can help it, you don't want to have the vacuum out. Although you can be spraying element and not lose time. But if you're just holding the R button or L button without any element, you'll be losing time. But it's a very, very, very small amount. Yeah, telling up the blue losses here. This guy is usually a really, really annoying for casual players, but we have a strat that makes him more, what's the right word here?
Doable.
Yeah. More
So
doable.
you see, when he grabbed the key there, or when he sucked up the boo, he actually switched to sidestep, which is a little bit slower, but it's a little bit safer. For a later part of the game.
It's preference, really. Some people like switching to sidestep. I don't, because it is slower. So I learned how to do it in standard, and I find them to be roughly the same difficulty. But it is personal preference, and the time loss is pretty insignificant unless you're at a very, very high level. Then
And even then, it's not really that significant.
it's not, but it definitely matters more there than anywhere else. Anyway, Bulosis, you're gonna see him. The ice spawn is random, but more importantly, he needs to have a good angle facing Bulosis. Yeah, that ice spawn is usually around. That's like, I'd say, average. Sometimes it can spawn really far away because of RNG, but
sometimes it can just go out of bounds and kill your round.
True. And that angle was decent. He got a decent amount of boost, but
That was a pretty good one cycle.
Yeah, so that's roughly what you want to see. And that's area 3. For reference, I think 41 to 42 million is a decent amount in area 3 without any dupes.
I think he'll have about that, even with the
Well, he did get a lot of extra gems, so he might actually get more, but I'm not sure.
Maybe.
We'll see. Unless he does the frame perfect cancel, then we can't see. But that's frame perfect, so there's a decent chance that we get it. Area 4, instead of wanting to plant at the end of Area 4 like he did Area 3, he's going to do it at the very beginning, because there's no really better time to do it than at the beginning. So let's see this money. $41 million, that's roughly what you'd expect to get. Maybe a little bit on the low side. But there's plenty of extra money you can get in Area 4. Yep, last time he wars a plant, this will drop a gold diamond, which is 20 million, but you'll also get a tiny bit of extra money and build coins and gold bars from this, so you'll get a little bit more than 20 million. Probably close to 20.5 million.
How much is a gold bar worth? 100k?
Yeah, 100,000. So now he's going all the way up to the blackout, and then there's going to be Grimly, which is the Butcher Ghost in the blackout. He can randomly show his heart between 0 seconds, which is instant, to an unknown amount of time. The current highest is 48 seconds, so that's at least that like it can at least go as high as that. It probably could go higher, but I don't know the cap, if there is a cap. But yeah. Let's hope that he gets the Grimly instantly and saves 1 year versus not getting it.
Uncle Grandpa's, which is not his name, but that's what some people like to call him. I personally am a fan of Uncle Bingley.
But yeah, not much to say about the blackout, because it's honestly kind of easy. There is one skip you can do in the parlor where it's basically a right triangle, and the normal strat is to go along the two sides that are connected to the right angle, but if you go along the hypotenuse, which is called Pythagoras skip because of Pythagorean theorem, it's a little bit faster, but it's also a little bit harder, so let's see if he goes for it. He's probably going to go for it, because it's decently fast. Yep. There's a hypotenuse walk there. Now he gets Grimly.
Good demo.
Now he's going to mirror warp and go down into the breaker room, which is the end of the blackout, and then he's going to be going for breaker boo. This guy is 200 health, so normally it's like, hey, 15 cackles, 10 health, 150 health, you can't one cycle him. But using that strat I talked about where you drag the boo against its will, which is basically going to be to the right of the room, you can actually get a little bit more than 10 damage per R pump. At least on average. So if he gets that, if that goes well for him, he'll be able to one cycle him.
Yeah, and if he's in a top barrel, he will have a guaranteed charge all the way to the right of the room anyway. And so hopefully he gets it here. And even if he misses it, it's actually not even that much time loss. No, out of bounds, it's detrimental to lose him, but he's very good.
Yeah, which is pretty likely. This boo, when he leaves the room, he'll either go back into this room, which is optimally, I think, better for both categories. But for
optimally, you'd want him to go to pipe room because he wouldn't normally be search.
Ooh,
if he didn't pump at the end there, he would have had that.
Yeah, he did an extra R pump to be safe, and it actually ruined it for him. So that boo is either going to go back in there, and he's going to have to check, because if he does go back in there and not pipe room, then he's going to be losing a lot of time. So he has to check there now. Hopefully the boo is nice to him in here. That was also a pretty difficult double, actually. It looks kind of easy, but I definitely say it's harder than it looks. They're dragging out the boo a little bit. I guess he wanted to get revenge on Breaker Boo by dragging out that boo a little bit more, like he should have been on Breaker Boo.
See if he comes back in.
No, I thought
not.
So that doesn't actually, that barely loses time versus if he went back in this category at least, which is pretty nice. Getting fire, having fire for the rooftop makes it way easier. There is, similar to the ballroom, a 6-piece strat on the rooftop, but I don't know if Splazer has practiced that strat yet. So he's probably instead going to burn them all, which is a little bit slower, but unless he's practiced the other strat, it's probably better for him to do that. And then another thing that's happening pretty soon is there's going to be the Clockwork Soldiers, which actually has names in the Spanish version: Francisco, Rodrigo, and Claudio. But they are, you can actually get 3 of them at once, but that's not really RTA viable, so he's going to go for 2 at once.
Or maybe he'll just do singles just to be safe, because if they break off, it's like...
You could lose the large pearl if you lose the blue one at greater than 10 health. Which, by the way, in this game, the large pearl drops at 10 health, So you can drop a ghost if you if you 2-cycle a ghost and do like, say you lose him at like 5 from full health. It's actually not that big of a deal. Ooh, missing that double. That double is actually kind of hard sometimes, so no shame on that. But he wants to get this chest now because there's good money in it. And you get to skip the animation later. So yeah, let's see if he goes to the double. He might not do it because if the risk is pretty high if he loses it, and he's already down a big pearl. I think he's going for it. Yeah, unless he's doing singles like this. This is a double set. Yeah, he is. Let's hope he doesn't break off the blue one.
He's guaranteed to get the big pearl now. So even if he breaks off, it's not too big of a deal, but he won't.
Nice.
I think. Oh no, he didn't dupe.
No, he's still down a large pearl.
Yeah, probably he does dupe to make up that large pearl though.
If he gets any dupes, which he has a few more chances, he has 4 more chances to get a dupe. So yeah, he's going for the burn shot here.
Doing that really, really fast.
I think he spun around pretty fast there. I think he lost some time, but it's whatever. It barely lost. It doesn't really matter as long as he gets
Messed that up a little bit. Normally you would just burn them both and then walk over to where the chest would be, but there he messed it up. And
that is actually a pretty hard thing to do fast. So I honestly do that a lot. I hate those guys so much.
Yeah, they can be really annoying. Definitely.
Yeah. So now we're coming up here on the rooftop, or the boos. These attic boos are incredibly hard because they have almost all of them have over 150 health, so you can't one-cycle any of them except for one of them. I guess you could one-cycle another one, but not really worth going for in a marathon run like this. Alright, so this boo is really annoying. Let's see.
This boo is possible to be one-cycled, however humans never done it. So
yeah,
it's just gonna go for a 2-cycle here.
Like that. That's a good start.
It's about 139, 141.
So yeah, hopefully he gets a good 2-cycle. He's gonna try to make the boos.
Ooh,
I think
might have signed it.
He has a decent. He still has a little bit to work with here. No.
Ooh, that sucks. So yeah, what you'll see he's gonna do here, even if the boo went back right, so he actually went up, so he's gonna not go up and get him instantly, he's just gonna wait and then get the boo when he goes up there after. So even if he went back right, it wouldn't have been a big deal, because you have to go back there anyway.
Yeah. So that it sucks that happened, but it's not that big of a time loss compared to what could happen. Ooh, these guys are being real pesky right now.
You guys are real pest for the people in recent times, really. That trio of ghosts is absolutely, it's terrible to work.
Yeah, I hate them too.
Might be getting really good RNG here. You get fake though. On the left side. Yeah, if he's not over on the right, this actually loses quite a bit of time. What is he? I was confused there for a second. I think he just messed up the read.
Well, he got the boo. Hopefully he gets his boo 1-cycle, but there's lag in this room because of how many objects are in here. Oh, it doesn't matter. He's a god anyway. Never mind. I don't really need to say anything. He just gets the 1-cycle for free. Now he's gonna do Jarvis. This guy, for some reason, if you get a gem cutscene during this guy's little fight, it actually progresses while the gem cutscene's playing. So they're gonna take advantage of that, and he's gonna get the gem without losing any time, and that's a free million basically. yeah. Now, if you miss even one of them, you'll have to play the whole minigame, and then at the end he'll basically say, you lose, you're bad, lol, and then warp you out of the room, and you have to replay it again, so you lose a lot of time. Aw, no dupes, because that was really dumb with the roll bouncers. And he had a good boost spawn, though. Now, which boo is this? This is gonna be 1 or 2 boo. Alright, it's not the boo that he wanted.
Well, that's actually really bad that it's not the clockwork boo, because now he's gonna have to get him now, and Jarvis Boo might hide.
He's at low health, so I think he's out. I think the boo is in there, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no.
He might get there before Jarvis hides. Depends if he gets a long text here or not, I think. Or no, he's gonna hide anyway.
Nope.
Oh no, he didn't. Barely did.
It's annoying because well, he got really lucky here, but sometimes Boo can just try to go up left, and then it makes it really hard to 2-cycle him, despite him being at like 50 health sometimes.
Yeah, that's definitely like a really annoying thing that happens, and it's pretty common too. On top of that, that Boo can be 1 cycle, and it is RTA viable, but it's really hard. So most people just don't go for it.
It's not really viable for every run, but on like dead runs it can be useful. Ooh, that's rough. He's trying to make the Boo go left so we can have him go back right and then up. That's respectable. Alright, the Boo's going where he wants him to go. Because in this game, the Boos, where they go, is really dependent on where you are, and if you stand between the Boo and where you don't want them to go, probably won't go that way.
Keyword probably, because most of the time the way it works is, well, actually almost 2-cycled that. Most of the time the way it works is if you're like to the very left on the pixel, they guaranteed like won't go like left, for example. But if you're like 1 pixel down, they can still go left. They just most likely won't.
Yeah, so for reference, Clockwork Room Boo has 2 directions it can go, up or left. If you stand up of the Boo, the Boo will not want to go up. So if you stand to the right and up of the Boo, you will be both not preventing him from going left, but also trying to block him from going up. So it's like a win-win. That's where you usually want to stand. And this is the sealed room. There's a Speedy Spirit in here. It's very slow, so I don't think he's getting it, but how his money is, it might be worth to get this, but no, he's not getting it. Respectable. His build count's pretty high, I think.
His build count's really high. Getting this too. Getting a poison mushroom? That's the first time I've ever seen a poison mushroom come out of that.
Because you don't normally search that goblet right there, but he did search it because of the vacuum.
I always search
weird.
that.
The goblet?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't lose time because you just go down right. Just search them both. Bills land on you.
Anyway, coming up on Pipe Room. Now this basement area right here, the Pipe Room and the cold storage, collectively, aside from the pearls, only have 1 gold bar in them. That's in the Pipe Room, and it's really far out the way, so you probably won't be getting any money down here. Aside from Weston's pearls, of course. Now he's going to be clearing this room, because he was going for a pretty weird triple, and he got it. That's actually kind of impressive. So there are 2 Boos in this room. The Breaker Room, which he lost early at 1 health, and the Pipe Room Boo, which he has full health at. And it has 300 health, but it moves so slow that you can actually 1-cycle it pretty consistently. So let's hope he gets that. Alright, that Boo came first, which is probably what you want to see. Now he's being spammed by Egad, because Egad decided to be mean to Luigi today and tell him about something.
Yeah.
Now this Boo is 1-cycle, as you can see. really good start.
Sorry, yeah, you jinxed it. Oh, actually, like, saved it. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
a really good way of saving
I
it.
can't believe he did that, honestly.
That's
That's
like
brilliant.
You could actually drag him a little bit there, like drag him to the left, and he'll be easier to save, but yeah, that was a pretty good save. So now he's caught up on booze, he's not behind any booze now. Now we need to get Weston, which can be kind of hard to one-cycle sometimes if he escapes the campfire quickly. But usually the campfire minute works, so let's hope it does here. Nope, it was me. And he broke off at 44, that's brutal.
That's
As I said,
pretty bad, considering that he's already down a large pearl.
as I said, Weston can be hard to one-cycle.
Yeah, I think he's very heavily behind on money now.
That was a really good slide though, right there.
That was really funny.
Because he was on the doormat.
Just switch to the top right.
That was good blue luck, I think, yeah. That was pretty nice for him on the blue luck there. Alright, and now they're going up to the Supian sitting room because there are 2 booze in there, a portrait ghost, and a bunch of money that we need.
Yes.
So let's hope that he does not drop Supi one cycle because Supi one cycle is another pretty hard one cycle. And if he drops that, then his money will be in pretty dire straits, even if he gets a bunch of extra money.
Yeah. You might have to just go around and... I mean, yeah, he does basically require a dupe, for the most part.
And he's going somewhere that I don't know.
He's going the wrong way. He's
always getting money.
He's clearing the second floor bathroom.
Jamming out to him clearing the washroom.
And he's dancing, too.
He's jamming out. He's getting the poster, and he's getting the money.
That gave him like 500, not even. That gave him like 300,000. That was like nothing.
I've probably been a better idea to get a gem somewhere, but you know what? I respect it.
Alright, to water the candles there.
Now there's gonna be, there's 5 ghosts here. You can actually just fire them all as fast as we deal with them. Might be some way doing a 5-piece, but that's probably really, really slow. And if it is not, it's really hard. That water hit, that was really good actually. That water is not normally that nice.
Yeah. Water is like, has very weird hitboxes, and it's pretty luck dependent if it hits a ghost sometimes. So.
Well, it's actually possible to, skip this cutscene if you. I don't know if it's been done on vanilla, but there's a cheat code where you unlock all the doors, and if you go to that door at like a really weird time, you'll actually skip this cutscene for some reason. It's only happened like a very, very small amount of times, but it is pretty cool when it happens. He got the large pearl in the one cycle. Probably gonna go for a pearl dupe right here. Nope.
And he missed it. He has one more chance at a pearl dupe now.
Yeah, if he hits Van Gore dupe, he'll be in a lot better of a spot than he was before.
King Boo dupe.
Alright, now time to get these 2 boos. There is a boo double shot you can do here, which saves a little bit of time, but it can be kind of hard, so not everybody goes for it. I like to go for it, unless my run is the god run, maybe not. Watering the plant for the money. Almost ran out of water there. Well, he did run out, but it didn't really matter. Having some good luck on that boo with the bed. Let's see, is he going for the double? If he leaves it at like 50, yeah, he's going for it. Interesting way of doing that.
No longer saving him time.
Probably not, but you know what? He's still going to flex on all the haters.
All the haters.
But he's a strat. His strat is godlike.
He lost time for the blue double because the way he did, and then he's gonna be like, "Yeah, did you do the blue double?"
Oh,
And this is a very, very bad thing. This is like entirely luck how they spawn.
He could have handled that better, but that was really, really hard.
Yeah,
that was a good attempt, though. I'll give him that.
Very difficult thing to do.
The fact that he was that close. I mean, he wasn't too close, but he also was a lot closer than most people probably would have been.
Yeah.
So that's a decent attempt. Now we're coming up on Vincent Van Gogh. The last normal portrait goes to drop pearls. So yeah, he's gonna spawn 3 ghosts from each painting, and the ghost that he spawned is gonna be the one on the painting. And obviously, you want to go for a triple on every single one of these ghosts. But of course, it's not that easy. You kind of have to set them up and not miss them. So let's just pray that he not throw.
These triples aren't too hard, but end of the run, especially if you're on a good run with theirs, they can get a lot harder.
I wish they were that easy in my no out of bounds DB Kappa. Alright, let's see if triple's good. This is a really hard triple, and
Nailed it, really.
3. Blazer 3.
Blazer equals free.
Everything's free for Blazer. Except for storage boo.
Now we're coming up on was ballroom boo.
Ballroom boo, but now we're coming up on the trash can triple. Yep, easy. And now there's actually triple you can do on these guys, which is faster, but it's too hard and the time save is not worth it, so don't really want to throw away a large amount of time on the end of the run, huh? So just burn them. Okay, now we're coming up on this guy. And the last part, chance that Pearl Duke will he get it?
Will he get it?
Nope.
He did not.
Rip.
This money's kind of sketchy. Okay, so this is the only other ghost in the game that can't be one cycle.
Yeah, at least with current knowledge, maybe it might be possible, but nobody's really like grinding it out. So currently, we don't know if it's possible. Ooh, that's risky. Oh wait, never mind. I'll take my voice. Alright. There's a gem save and quit you can get here, but if you mess it up, you'll either miss it or the gem goes out of bounds, and if it goes out of bounds a certain way, you can't get it, and you'll have to reset. And
he's going for it, and he missed it.
He wasn't in the corner enough, but you know what? That was a good attempt. So now he's at the end of the run, going to King Boo, which can be one cycled, but you know that's a pretty hard trick. So he's probably gonna be going for a 2 cycle. And I honestly have no idea if he has the money or not. I'm gonna be honest, I don't. But if he gets ultra money, he's gonna be very likely to have it. But I think his build count is really high.
It is pretty high.
And he also has Sapphire in the what room is that? The guest room. So I think he's gonna be good if he gets ultra money. If he gets ultra money though, it's gonna be a little bit more risky. He's getting extra money in here, I think, or he just wants health, but I don't think he needs health. He's at full health. All right, let's see how this goes.
Actually on pace for like a 114.
I think it's a 116 due to the timer.
Well, it only started like a minute and a half late, so
maybe, I don't know. We'd have to see.
Actually,
you'll have to tell us at the end of the run.
You're right. It'll be 116.
Yeah, he's getting all the extra money he can.
Yep.
And
4 Sapphires actually. That's Alright, so we're gonna be seeing about a 116 here. The timer is incorrect, sadly.
But you know what? For all the mistakes that happened, I don't think he can be that upset with a 116.
That is true.
He even lost ballroom boo into, I think it was like lugs or something stupid like that. So let's hope that he gets this, has this fight go well. Of course, the run's not even over. Even when you finish the run, it's still not over because you have to wait for the money to count.
Yeah?
I mean, of course, there's times where you're like, yeah, I know I have the money, but this is not one of those times.
This is definitely not one of those times. Splazer always does that thing where he stands up and starts like walking around his room when he in the King Boo cutscene.
Yep. Alright, let's see how this fight goes here.
I wonder if he'll go for a 1 cycle here. So most people actually go for a King Boo 2 cycle. However, if it is possible to be 1 cycle, it's just
really
very hard.
Yeah. I think Splazer's done it a few times. He might go for it because this one's kind of a meme.
He's one of the first people to do it, actually.
He's like the third or fourth, yeah. Alright, let's see how this goes. Oh, he's going for it, I think. Yep.
He is. Let's see.
Nope.
Ooh, yeah.
Fast, so I'm probably gonna go for backup 2 or fast 3 cycle.
See the
Yeah.
Actually missing that too. I'm gonna have to do a fast 3.
Dodging the ice like God. Oh, Blazer. What was the time of the run?
Oh, well. He's definitely dead.
Oh. Oh yeah, the time ended, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, time. Time.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't give me a way to stop the timer, so.
Alright, well, that's
Oh,
fine.
man.
Sorry.
We'll just change the timing method for this marathon.
Oh my god.
Probably just end it now. Make sure not to spoil the money, by the way.
I'm not going to.
But what was the time, Blazer?
1:16:27.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
it's
end it on that time then, just to make sure it's accurate.
End at 1:16:27.
Okay.
Yes.
What was the estimate you gave for this one, Blazer?
Oh, 1:15.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, that was all good.
Brutal.
It was sad. I wasn't talking at all because I had the echo, you know. So I had to
Raging when you lost the
I'm
boo
not
in
going
ballroom.
Dude, I was just time. I don't know. It was dumb. Everything was dumb.
It may have been brutal for you, but it was enjoyable watch for those of us that know virtually nothing about Luigi's Mansion other than Luigi, ghosts, and a vacuum cleaner.
Sure. Entertainment for you guys. Alright. You guys will see if I have money in just a second.
Let's see if he gets it.
Dude, I was just... I don't know. That was dumb. Everything was dumb.
And here's true time.
True. Entertainment for you guys. Alright. You guys will see if I have money in just a second.
And he did it!
That ultra money saved you, huh?
Yeah, dude.
For the most part.
Dude, did you see I flexed with the second floor bathroom or washroom?
Yeah.
I thought you were popping off during that for some reason.
I was having a good time, dude.
You probably should have done that though, because you were running a little tight on estimate. But it was fun.
Whatever. Oh man.
Alright, well, thank you, Splazer, for running, and Saria and Red on the couch. That was Luigi's Mansion 100%.
Dude, did you see
Next up, we've got Manix86 running The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky FC 80% glitchless, which is on pace, or which is scheduled to be by a wide margin the longest run of the game. At just over 7 hours.
Oh man.
Oh
my god.
I've got nothing but mad respect for anybody who can run a game that's about more than 3 hours. 7 is just out of the question.
Jeez. A 7-hour game in a marathon.
Yo, super longathon over here, huh?
Yeah, right?
Exactly. I don't know, that might be a little too short for super short. For a really, really long-a-thon.
Yeah.
Alright, well, once again, thank you, and thank you everybody. And whoever's in control of this crazy machine can move us to the splash screen or whatever. They didn't give me any powers, they just told me to sit in here and read donations.
Jeez. At 7 hours.